bounces, it flies, it defies all laws of physics. And no, we're not talking about your average science experiment. Hey everyone, welcome back to Movies on the Brain. I'm Jason, and today we're diving into the chaotic, rubbery world of Flubber, a 1997 family comedy directed by Les Mayfield, starring the late great Robin Williams, alongside Marcia Gay Harden, Christopher McDonald, Ted Levine, and Will Wheaton. This movie is packed with slapstick energy, flying inventions, and one very mischievous green blob. It's quirky, it's loud, and it's pure 90s family movie badness. So let's bounce into it. Flubber opened in theaters on November 26, 1997 with a budget of $80 million. During its 8-week theatrical run, it earned $92.9 million domestically and $85 million, making a worldwide total of $177.9 million. Its opening weekend, which happened to be Thanksgiving weekend of 1997, saw it earn $26.7 million, finishing number one in the box office ahead of the likes of The Jackal, The Rainmaker, Anastasia, and Alien Resurrection. Numbers 5 through 2 respectively, with Alien Resurrection also opening the same weekend. Its final week in theaters saw it earn $2.3 million, finishing its box office run at number 11. Absent-minded Professor Philip Brainerd is developing a new energy source, hoping to save Medfield College from closure. His preoccupation with his research has caused him to miss two wedding dates, much to the ire of his fiancée, college president Sarah Jean Reynolds. On their third attempted wedding day, Brainerd is approached by his former partner, Wilson Croft, of rival Rutland College, who has profited from stealing his ideas and now intends to steal Sarah. While preparing for the wedding, Brainerd has a breakthrough with the help of his robot assistant, Weebu, who is secretly in love with him. Their experiment results in a sentient green goo with enormous elasticity and kinetic energy, which wreaks havoc on the neighborhood before the professor recaptures it. Weebu classifies the substance as flying rubber, leading Brainerd to christen it Flubber. Working on Flubber into the following morning, Brainerd realizes too late that he has again missed his own wedding. He unsuccessfully attempts to explain his absence to a heartbroken Sarah, leaving Brainerd determined to prove Flubber's worth and win her back. Medfield College's wealthy sponsor, Chester Honecker, who is threatening to close the school, sends his henchmen Smith and Wesson to persuade Brainerd to give Honecker's entitled son Bennett a better grade. Brainerd, too busy experimenting with Flubber unknowingly subdues the goons with a Flubber-coated golf ball and bowling ball. Brainerd also uses Flubber to enable his vintage Ford Thunderbird to fly, and overhears Wilson make a flirtatious bet with Sarah about Medfield's upcoming basketball game against Rutland. Struggling to confess her feelings for the professor, Weebo creates a holographic human version of herself and tries to kiss a sleeping Brainerd, but he awakens with another idea for Flubber. Sneaking into the vacant basketball arena, he tests the effect of Flubber on a basketball in his shoes, allowing him to bounce incredibly far. At the game, he secretly applies Flubber to the abysmally unskilled Medfield team, enabling them to beat Rutland, but his attempt to win Sarah back fails. Meanwhile, a mischievous Weebo releases Flubber to dance around the house. Returning home, Brainerd talks to Weebo, declaring that his absent-mindedness is due to his love for Sarah. Weebo, putting the professor's happiness before her own, shows Sarah footage of Brainerd's declaration, and the couple reconciles. Brainerd demonstrates Flubber's abilities to Sarah, but Honecker has discovered Flubber's profitable potential, offering to buy it and forgive the college's debt. Brainerd and Sarah refuse, making a deal with the Ford Motor Company instead and saving the school. Honecker sends Smith and Wesson to raid Brainerd's house, where Weibo attempts to fend them off, but is destroyed as they steal Flubber. Mourning the loss of his beloved robot, Brainerd discovers a farewell video from Weibo, along with a backup of herself, her daughter, Weebette. Brainerd and Sarah confront Honecker under the guise of selling him additional Flubber. Discovers league he is in league with Wilson. Unleashing Flubber, Brainerd and Sarah defeat Wilson, the Honeckers, and their henchmen. Sometime later, Brainerd saves Medfield from closing with Flubber, and the happy couple finally have a successful wedding and embark on their honeymoon to Hawaii in the Flying Thunderbird with Weebette and Flubber. Now let's look at the cast and some of their other roles they've had. Robin Williams as Professor Philip Brainerd. Before his passing in August of 2014, other roles for Robin Williams include Loveless in Happy Feet 1 and 2, Bob Monroe in RB, and Andrew in Bicentennial Man. Marcia Gay Harden as Dr. Sarah Jean Reynolds. Other roles for Marcia Gay Harden include Ruby Knox in Knox Goes Away, Grace Gray in the 50 Shades of Grey franchise, and Liz Whitewood in Bad News Bears. Christopher McDonald as Wilson Croft. Other roles for Christopher McDonald include Jack Barry in Quiz Show, Richard Dangler in Deep Murder, and Lawson in The Tank. Raymond J. Barry as Chester Honecker. Other roles for Raymond J. Barry include Mr. Lezak in Just Married, Luke Jacobs in Training Day, and Lester in Filthy Animals. Clancy Brown as Smith. Other roles for Clancy Brown include Eddie Funko in the Funko Fusion video game, Stanley in Promising Young Woman, and Surtur in Thor Ragnarok. Ted Levine as Wesson. Other roles for Ted Levine, however you want to say it, include Jamie Gumb in Silence of the Lambs, Bosco in Heat, and Ken Wheatley in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Will Wheaton as Bennett Honecker. Other roles for Will Wheaton include Gordy LaChance in Stand By Me, Joey Trotta in Toy Soldiers, and Mike Morningstar in the Ben 10 franchise. Scott Michael Campbell as Dale Jepner. Other roles for Scott Michael Campbell include Monroe in Brokeback Mountain, Brad Young in the TV show Shameless, and Campbell in A Good Day to Die Hard. Edie McClurg as Martha George. Other roles for Edie McClurg include Mary in Wreck-It Ralph, Grace in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and Helen in 1976 as Carrie. Sam Lloyd as Coach Willie Barker. Other roles for Sam Lloyd include Ted Buckland in the TV show Scrubs, Neru in Galaxy Quest, and Howard in Pants on Fire. Bob Sarlat as the Rutland coach. Other roles for Bob Sarlat include Dirk the Daring in the TV show Dragon's Lair, a motorcycle cop in Ed TV, and Tom Bannister in Web of Deception. Dakin Matthews as the minister. Other roles for Dakin Matthews include Colonel Cochran in Child's Play 3, King William in The Swan Princess, and John Usher in Lincoln. Jodie Benson as Weeble. Other roles for Jodie Benson include Ariel in the Little Mermaid franchise, Barbie in the Toy Story franchise, and Sam in Enchanted. Leslie Stephenson, Weebo's holographic human form Sylvia. Other roles for Leslie Stephenson include Elizabeth Campbell in The General's Daughter, Irene Kravitz in The Hunted, and Kelly in Unbreakable. Julie Morrison as Weebette. Julie Morrison has only had one other voice credit, and that's voicing four characters, which are a woman, a zookeeper, Screaming Mimi, and Songbird across 3 episodes of the TV show The Superhero Squad Show. Scott Martin Gershon as Flubber. Scott Martin Gershon is also credited for the Herbie vocalizations in Herbie Fully Loaded, the vocalizations of Leatherface in 2003's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, even though they aren't physically sharing a scene together, I love Jodie Benson's chemistry with Robin Williams just by that very first scene. It and it was mind blowing to find out that Weibo is Jodie Benson. Not, I'm going to say this a lot in this, I think. I also love the chemistry between Robin Williams and Marcia Gay Harden. You almost get the feeling that they are truly about to be married. They are so good on screen together. Philip missing his third wedding to Sarah is insane, and the fact that Weibo is jealous of Sarah for some reason. The way Jodie Benson is portraying being jealous is fantastic. The score when Flubber comes to be is great. And Robin Williams going crazy over how durable it is absolutely incredible. I love that Christopher McDonald is playing a villain, especially in a film starring Robin Williams. Sarah has every right to be upset with Philip, and then for Flubber to make Philip look like a fool is crazy work, but it's actually a fun little scene. I love the golf ball and bowling ball bounce tests, and then Robin Williams' voice with the helium is a nice touch. Philip has it in his mind that Sarah will take him back if she sees that Flubber can actually do something worthwhile, like make his car fly. Honecker and his henchmen have some fun scenes together. I'll be honest, I actually didn't recognize Clancy Brown until I really paid attention to the voice. Robin Williams always delivers with the physical comedy, and it's always funny watching what he'll do. The basketball coach trying to hype up the basketball team for Medfield, even though Rutland is on a 100-game win streak, is comical, but you can't help but like that he has hope. Weibo letting Flubber out even though Philip told her not to led to one of the best scenes in the film with Flubber having its own dance party. What a monologue from Robin Williams when saying he's absent-minded because he loves Sarah. Fantastic acting by him. Incredible acting by Robin Williams when he finds Weibo inoperable. It shows Philip does care about things other than himself. That entire final scene in Honecker's mansion is such a well-shot sequence. And Christopher McDonald shows he can do physical comedy as well, with the whole thing of Flubber being inside his body. I love that Sarah and Philip finally got married, and Weibo's daughter was created, and she acts like Flubber's younger sister, and it's absolutely comical. Overall, I had a good time with this film, and it's not perfect, but it's a lot of fun. Now, let's look at some fun facts and trivia about this film. According to Will Wheaton, in the scenes that he was in with Robin Williams, they would film a take the way it was supposed to be filmed. After that take, Williams would often want to improvise scenes differently than the script just for fun. Those scenes were not added to the actual film, but there were enough scenes to make an entirely different movie. John Hughes' first choice for the role of Professor Philip Brainerd was always Robin Williams. He lined up some other choices, including Christopher Lloyd, Jeff Goldblum, John Lithgow, Tim Allen, Jerry Seinfeld, John Goodman, and Sir Patrick Stewart. As soon as Williams made peace with the Walt Disney Company, Hughes immediately cast Williams in the lead. Christopher McDonald almost declined the role of Wilson Croft when he was offered it before Robin Williams signed on to star. He felt that his role was too similar to those of the ones he played in Thelma and Louise and Happy Gilmore. At the time, Williams had a falling out with the Walt Disney Company, and other actors were considered for the role of Professor Philip Brainerd. Williams reconciled with Disney before production, and McDonald ultimately accepted the role solely for the reason that he always wanted to work with Williams and was willing to play any role possible for that opportunity. This is Great Oak Entertainment's final film before shutting down after the film's release. And that's a wrap on Flubber, a film that's equal parts chaos, charm, and nostalgia, with just enough rubbery mayhem to keep things bouncing along. It's one of those movies that doesn't take itself too seriously, and honestly, that's kind of the point. Now, here's a question. Should I go back and review The Absent-Minded Professor, the original 1961 film that inspired this remake? Let me know. If there's interest, I'm all in. Thanks for watching Movies on the Brain. I'm Jayson, and I'll see you next time, where science and slapstick sometimes go hand in hand.